If we humans are part of the nature, then why what we do is not considered natural?
Choral voices. Lost again.
What happens when humanity exploit things that are beyond understanding?
The coral. It's my family. My brothers and sisters.
Necessity is the mother of innovation, and that innovation is fueled by resources. But what happens when the necessity is replaced by greed?
The coral's rising. It's building up faster than I'd expected.
Before I played Armored Core 6, I was just hyped for a adrenaline rush mecha action game. But now that I have completed the entire game and got all the endings, it makes me question humanity. A game that I never cared for because of its story or lore ended up becoming the game with one of the deepest stories and meaning behind it. Armored Core 6 brought up some sort of ethical clashes that I saw in this current world. So let me tell you about them. These are the reasons why Armored Core 6 made me question humanity. The first one is the clashes due to the contact with the unknown. Rubicon has existed way before humanity ever made contact with it. And on it, there existed coral. Coral is an energy source that literally signifies potential. The game mentions that for a time, coral was a revolutionary energy source and a data conduit. Coral is also an organic living entity that is capable of self-propagation. The speed at which it proliferates, it determines by the density of its colony. In other words, there was a planet with a life on it. So we humans decided to give it a visit. And what did we decide to do? Exploit it. Humanity decided to make contact and open a new box full of unknown substance that is a coral. We decided to use coral to improve human society. That life, coral, was treated like some sort of snorting white object. Everyone is obsessed with it. Everything is revolving around it. We have made augmented humans because of it. So we use those living beings as some sort of fuel. Imagine the gas or the petrol in your tank is alive and you are burning that thing alive just so your machine can power up and you can go somewhere. So coral decided to fight back by growing exponentially. So we said, oh, it's growing too fast, it's mutating too fast. If it does it too much, it can be a threat to humanity. So yeah, let's just kill it. So humans made the fire of Ibis and then they burned everything to ashes. Not only we went to a planet full of life, exploited, and later when it fought back, we completely destroyed the place where they used to live. I do like Walter, but the whole narrative about just killing coral, maybe do your research before you go around exploiting things. The point I'm getting here is, this signifies the extreme nature of humans when it comes to interacting with a foreign substance or entity. Our conveniences, fear, and the pleasure puts a blind eye to other suffering. Whether it be a pleasure of using coral to power up different augmented humans, or a fear of it fighting back and us not being able to survive, or the convenience, or technically the potential. When others fight back because of oppression, the cycle of hatred has already begun, and it will engulf everything, every living being, the atmosphere, the living habitat, everything. It may have been avoided if we just did a little bit of research. And going forward, if we cannot do that, if we cannot understand others' pain and have a little bit of sympathy towards it, we are doomed. Now, I am not saying if it is moral or immoral to do these things, but when you bring suffering to a living being, they cannot tolerate it for so long. They're of course going to fight back. Yes, there is a question about morality, that you shouldn't be going around making people suffer. But at the same time, that you don't even know the power and the potential of the people you're making suffer, then that just opens up a new can of worm of stupidity. Second is power and control. So we know that there are multiple corporations in this game. The entire game is a cat and mouse case of power and control. We as a mercenary get to witness all these corporations struggle for power, stab each other in the back, manipulate the resources, team up, and technically play a game of chess and politics. It's actually a good drama if you ask me. This also highlights a fundamental characteristic of humanity: control, and what extreme extents we go to achieve it or keep it. Be it taking lives, destroying the planets, genocides, a lot of things. Humanity loves control. But why do we like control? Is it from pure greed, or is it from the desire to survive? A corporation can have a desire to survive in the market, and that's why they want to control the entire marketplace, so they can never go out of business. The fear of them being wiped out gives a desire to control. Hence, to stay in the power among every other corporation in this game, there's one corporation starts extracting the coral. That corporation wins the fight at the end. And at that moment in time, they only cared about staying in the power. They forgot about the suffering that they are causing to the coral, which is a living entity on the planet. But as we see with Air and her relationship with coral, she certainly describes that coral is being used to power these different machines. It shouldn't be treated like just another substance. Whether you do that for fear, for control, or for whatever reason. Anyway, what do you think? Does the desire of control comes from the fear or it comes from the greed? Now, going back to the question, what happens when necessity is replaced by greed? The answer is exploitation. Doesn't matter whether we are on the earth or we go somewhere else. Taking more than what you need just to stay in power or control the landscape of the entire political system is just a nature. Instead of doing our prior research, we just land on the fucking Rubicon and start taking everything. We use coral to build these war machines. As coral describe a literal potential, every single corporation wanted it for itself. They wanted to research it, they wanted to hoard it, they wanted to use it to make war machines. They wanted to be powerful by using it. As we see that C4621 is the 4th generation augmented human being made by using coral. And that's why it is possible for us to make a contact with the Rubiconian Air. We see throughout the entire game where there are a lot of machines which were powered by coral. I think when the machine died, the corals die along with it. I am not exactly sure. But you can feel the sheer pain in her voice when you kill one of those machines and she says that they are her brothers and sisters. It is not coral's fault for fighting back, but it's the humanity's fault for exploiting it. I took an elective during my university. We were studying an argument by a philosopher, an author called Elliot Sober. He argued that if humans are part of the nature, why what we do is not part of the nature? Why what we do is called non-natural? One species is able to assert dominance over other. Isn't it just a natural act of dominance of one species over another? So with that context, we go into Rubicon and exploiting and domesticating corals should be natural, right? It's just a natural play of dominance, right? But my counter to that is that we cannot compare human beings to other species, and we cannot justify our action based on the actions of other species. We are different and we possess a special gift that others do not. I do agree that we are part of nature and what we do is natural, but we cannot justify the mass suffering based on our action. Other species cannot go around destroying the entire species in a genocidal way in a very short time. We humans possess an ability that is so powerful that can change major course of events and can literally disrupt the balance of the entire planet. One of the examples would be we can develop the weapons of mass destructions and completely devastate planets, and that ability is our rational brain, and we humans are capable of using it to a certain extent where normal standards of ecosystems just go out of the window. And other shortcomings we have compared to other animals, we can also develop solution to those shortcomings. A grizzly bear cannot fly, right? Also, we humans cannot fly, but we humans can make an aeroplane and transport ourselves from one place to other. A grizzly bear cannot make an aeroplane, invite other grizzly bears, and pull up to a tribe of polar bears and have a war. They can't just pull up with Fangs 47 and paw bullets via air taxi. Yes, what we do should be natural, but at the same time, we have a responsibility to not fuck shit up. Otherwise, not only we will destroy the planet and other species, but also destroy ourselves with it.